Hello, welcome back to our lecture series on circuits and networks. So this is the 19th lecture from module 2, and today we are doing some problems on RC switching circuit or RC transient circuit. And in the last class related to this topic, we were discussing about the theory of RC circuit where a switching happens with some DC voltage source or DC source. So AC sources may also appear. Up to the moment we didn't discuss that area. Now we are discussing only about DC source switching. Initially we completed RL circuit analysis and some problems on RL circuit. Now we are going to do RC circuit. The analysis is already over in 17th lecture. If you are fresh to the video lecture series, before entering to this video, please refer lecture number 17, that is RC circuit analysis or RC circuit switching analysis. Then only you can understand how the problems can be easily solved. Okay, so now let us start the problems. Okay. Okay, so these are the conclusions that I obtained from 17th lecture, 17th video lecture. That was nothing but we initially derived the current equation and voltage equation of a RC circuit while it is switching with a DC source. And then we plotted the response of voltage and current. And from that shape, we came to some important conclusions. So, what do you mean by steady state? Let me ask one question. What do you mean by steady state? A steady state is nothing but if we are going for a switching action, definitely there may be some disturbance period. This disturbance period is generally termed as transient period. And after all the disturbance are cleared, our system will reach its final value or what the value we are expecting by doing the switching. And this final value or that the instant when the response reaches its final voltage or final current, whatever, that instant or that time is known as steady state. That condition is known as steady state because no disturbance are there on that moment. Nothing is disturbing the circuit. So generally for obtaining the value of steady state, we may be having some equation. Suppose current equation, it will be I of t is something E by R into or something e raised to minus some time constant into t. That will be there. Okay, but if you are putting t is equal to 0, you will get the initial value. That is nothing but you will get the value corresponding to this axis because here t is equal to 0 and here also t is equal to 0. So if you are putting t is equal to 0 in a voltage equation, you will get 0 here. And in the current equation, if you are putting t is equal to 0, you will get E by R. If you are having doubts, please refer the video number 17. And after a long time or after by keeping enough time for the system to clear all the disturbance, we know definitely the value will go to a final value. In case of voltage, the final value is E. E, the green line indicates the final value. Definitely the voltage response will touch the green line at an infinite time. I don't know when it will exactly touches. Okay. So for finding that, we have to put t is equal to infinity because at infinity anyhow definitely it will touch. It will touch at some point before the infinity, but I don't know exactly at what point the response will reach the final value. In case of current, we can see E by R is reducing. The initial value is reducing and at the final value it will goes to 0. It will touch the axis. So for that we have to put t is equal to infinity in the equation of I of t. So voltage at infinity and current at infinity, that values we will get. But the important thing is that at infinity, we can see voltage is very high. Infinity is here, somewhere here. After some point, some time, definitely this voltage will touch its final value. So at infinity, anyhow, the value of voltage is E. It is very high value. Whereas at the same infinity, the value of current, at the same steady state, value of current is approximately equal to 0. So what is the condition? Voltage is high and current is equal to 0. What is the equivalent representation? Short circuit or open circuit? Current is 0 and voltage is high means open circuit. So during steady state, capacitor acts as open circuit. Please make a small change here. It is C, not L. Capacitor acts as open circuit at DC steady state. This is an important thing. Anyhow, at switching, at the instant of switching, what was the condition? This is the instant of switching, this axis. We can see voltage is 0 and current is high. So, voltage is 0 and current is high means it is approximately equal to equivalent representation of a voltage is 0, current is high, short circuit. Okay. Leave it for us to do problems. The steady state condition is very, very important. So, at steady state, capacitor acts as open circuit for DC excitation. That is important. Okay. Now, let us do some problems on RC circuit. So, before doing two problems, initially the derivation steps that we did in lecture number 17 should be very clear for you. From the circuit, we will conduct some analysis based on KVL, and we will obtain, initially we will obtain the initial voltage and initial current. Then we will form KVL equation for the instant after t. When switch is closed, it is 0th instant. After t means switch is permanently closed. Or in some problem it may not be closing, it may be moving from one position to another position. That may also happen. Anyhow, the switching action, whatever it may be, opening or closing or moving from one position to another position, whatever it may be, in all problems, switching action take place at t is equal to 0, 0th instant. Okay. So after the 0th instant, we have to find KVL equation. And from that, we will get some differential equation, first order differential equation. In RL circuit also, in last class, we did some problems. In that also, we can see that we will get some differential equation. And we have to solve that first order differential equation by developing integrating factor. We have to multiply left hand side or right hand side with integrating factor. Then we will get some symbol form, and then we will integrate on both sides, and then we will find the expression for voltage in case of capacitor. In that integral expression, there is a term K, constant. For evaluating that K, we have to apply initial voltage condition that we obtained in the first step. Then substituting the initial value of K, you will get the final thing. This was the procedure we conducted in derivation. The same procedure we have to adopt in doing problems also. So, if anybody is not that much clear about the steps involved in derivation, please have a recap from the lecture number 70. Okay. Now, it is a problem. The switch S is moved from position 1 to position 2 at t is equal to 0. Find V of t. V of t, what is V of t? Voltage across capacitor. In some problem, it may be Vc of t, voltage of capacitor as a function of time. Why we are giving a t in the bracket? Because in that expression, if you are putting some value for t, you will get some other voltage. That is, voltage is varying with respect to time. So, voltage is a function of time. That is the concept. Okay. So, you are asked to find this voltage across the capacitor. And you are having a circuit which has a switch which has two positions, position 1 and position 2. Initially, it was in position 1. From the very past, that means from the negative infinity to the instant of 0 time, the switch is in position 1. Then suddenly at the 0th instant we have to move the switch to position 2. Here also a connection is there. Position 2, here also a connection is there. We are not opening the switch. In both the positions the switch is closed. So that is the case. So first of all we have to analyze the condition before switching instant, or we have to say 0 minus time. 0 minus time means time just before switching happens. 0, that is the time of switching. 0 plus, that is the time just after switching, like that. Okay. So solution. At t is equal to 0 minus, the switch is in position 1. I think it is clear for everyone, because t is equal to 0 minus means switching happens at t is equal to 0. At that time switch moves from 1 to 2. So before that instant switch was there at position 1. At t is equal to 0 minus, switch is in position 1. It will be in a steady state as from negative infinity to t is equal to 0, the switch was there at position 1, because for a long time the switch was connected to position 1. I don't know from what instant this relation started, I don't know. But when I was looking, the switch was there with position 1 for a long time. And at the present instant t is equal to 0, I am going to disconnect from 1 and I am going to move to a new position. Anyhow, it is sure that a steady state is obtained in position 1, because at some negative infinity we may be connecting that switch from 0 to position 1. At that instant some transient may happen there also in negative infinity, and it will be clear within some 4 or 5 time periods, time constant, 4 or 5 time constants. Then after it will attain a steady state. If it is voltage, steady state means we know that the voltage will go like this, like that. So its steady state will happen there. Then we are disconnecting the switch from 1 and moving to 2. In the steady state, this thing happens in the steady state of the switch at position 1. That is the concept. So now what was the conclusion we made in first slide? At steady state, capacitor acts as open circuit. So with position 1 of the switch, our capacitor was in a state where it is equivalent to an open circuit, because the steady state was there. They were standing in that position for a long time, so definitely steady state will reach. Let us see. This is the condition of position 1. A 100 voltage source is there in position 1, which is connected to 5 kilo ohm resistor to the capacitor, where the capacitor is presently in a condition equivalent to open circuit, because it reaches steady state. Voltage is that high and current is that 0. Then we can say it is a steady state condition. So at t is equal to 0 minus, current is not passing, because capacitor is open circuit. It is a series path. How the current can pass? No, current can pass. Now if current is 0, then what is the voltage drop across the 5 kilo ohm resistor? Whenever current is passing, I into R, that is voltage drop. If current is equal to 0, drop is also 0. So no voltage is getting dissipated or lost across the 5 kilo ohm resistor. So this 100 volt will be present here also, across this terminal also, because no loss is there. No loss is there means this 100 volt is exactly in parallel to these terminals, because there is no loss in that 5 kilo ohm resistor. So we will get 100 volt at the V0 terminal, at the capacitor terminal. So V0 minus is equal to 100 volt. Before the switch was moved from 1 to 2, then at that condition it was a DC steady state and that voltage of the capacitor was equal to 100 volt. Since voltage across the capacitor cannot change instantaneously, that is the important point. If it is an inductor, current cannot change instantaneously. I0 minus is equal to I0 and that is equal to I0 plus. And if it is a capacitor, the voltage cannot be changed instantaneously. V0 minus is equal to V0 plus and that is equal to V, that is equal to 100 volt. Okay. Okay. So that is initial voltage. We got the initial voltage. That is the first step. Now we are moving to the switching instant. Switching instant means switch is moved from 1 to 2. At 2, what was there? There was another voltage source of 50 volt. Let us see. This is the condition. It is moved to 50 volts voltage source. The 5 kilo ohm resistor is there. And the capacitor is now, it is not a open circuit because now it lost the steady state. Again it came to a new transient state. In position 1 it was there in steady state, but now it is moved to position 2. So disturbance came, it is a transient period. So again I draw the capacitor back to the position as a capacitor itself. Now it is not equivalent to an open circuit. So it is a 1 mu of capacitor, 1 into 10 raised to minus 6. It's a 1 mu of capacitor. But I know the capacitor cannot change its voltage instantaneously. Even though it is not exactly equal to a open circuit, its voltage is there, its 100 volt voltage is there. Whether it may be 100 or it may have some disturbance, anyhow a voltage is there. That voltage we can change suddenly, and its polarity is also important. Initially its polarity was like this because current was passing in this direction for achieving the steady state in position 1. So up to the steady state we are feeding the current from top to bottom like this. Current is feeding from plus to the switch 5 kilo ohm resistor to the top plate. So plus is marked here. This plus polarity cannot be changed instantaneously. This positive polarity cannot be changed instantaneously. So even though if you connect that switch to a new battery, then also the direction of polarity of capacitor will not change based on the new battery, because capacitor will oppose sudden change in voltage. That is the concept. So again, if this is the new battery we are connecting in position 2, current will be coming from this direction, from plus. So plus should be come here for capacitor, but it will not happen. Capacitor is not ready to accept a sudden reversal of voltage. So capacitor will maintain its polarity. As a result, the resistor will be also having the same polarity. Now we can apply KVL. This is a special case. In all the other normal steady state equation, if you are writing the KVL at normal steady state, it will not be like this, because the plus may be coming here, and for resistor plus may be coming here, because the voltage source direction is just reverse. So current may be coming out from this terminal. So now the KVL equation. We can see plus 50, that is we are tracing in this direction, plus 50 plus 5 kilo ohm into current. Current in the present condition is C dV by dt, because current in the capacitor, that is equal to C dV by dt. This is also a present different special condition. If it is a normal KVL where we are not considering the transient operation, then that will be 5 into I. 5 into I only. We are not taking that I as C into dV by dt. But in such a case, in such a problem, in that derivation also, we were taking like this, because we have to give 5 into current, and that current as the current across capacitor. Current across capacitor is equal to C dV by dt. That's why we are giving 5 kilo ohm into C dV by dt or dVt by dt. Don't get confused based on the bracket and that t. It may be there, it may not be there. It will not make any difference. Anyhow, voltage is a function of time. If you are representing V of t, that is better. And if you are simply writing V, that is also not a mistake. So 5 kilo ohm into C dV by dt plus, so this voltage is over. Now this is voltage across the capacitor, that is V of t. So we are taking plus V of t. Now 5 into 10 raised to 3. Here we are solving 5 kilo ohm, 5 into 10 raised to 3 plus C, 1 into 10 raised to minus 6 plus dV by dt plus V of t, that is equal to minus 50. We are taking 50 to the other side. Then after solving that 5 into 10 raised to 3 and all, we will get 0.005 into dV of t by dt plus V of t, that is equal to minus 50. Okay, now I have to make the coefficient of the differential term dVt by dt as 1. So I have to multiply all the terms by 0.005. Then it will become dVt by dt plus Vt by 0.005, that is equal to minus 50 by 0.005. Simply take V instead of V of t, because now we are going to the differentiation and all. So for making it looking somewhat simple, I am simply taking V instead of V of t. So V of t by 0.005, 1 by 0.005 is 200. So that is equal to 200 V plus dV by dt, that is equal to 50 by 0.005, that is equal to minus 10,000. So this is a first order differential equation where V is the basic variable. How we can say it is a first order? Because order depends on the degree of this term. If it is d square V by dt square, second order differential is there, it is a second order differential equation. Now it is a first order differential equation. Now to find the solution, again I am giving more stress that it is all the steps are same as that we did in the derivation of previous class, lecture 17. So if derivation is thorough for you, these steps are just you have to follow that procedure only. So first of all, we have to find what is the integrating factor. Integrating factor depends upon the coefficient of basic variable. Here basic variable is V. Its coefficient is 200. So integrating factor is e raised to 200t. E raised to 200t is integrating factor. Multiply all the terms by this integrating factor. Then we will get e raised to 200t plus into 200v plus e raised to 200v dv by dt, that is equal to minus 10,000 into e raised to 200t. Actually this minus is not for minus 200, it is the minus for the base, for the e. It is not e raised to minus 200, it is minus e raised to 200. That minus was there previously with the 10 raised to 4. 10 raised to 4 means 10,000. So this all LHS is equivalent to differential. You have to apply differential rule of u into v. So d by dt of e raised to 200t into v, that will give the step just before this step. So I substituted the step d by dt of e raised to 200 into v, that is equal to minus e raised to 200t 10 raised to 4. Now I am going to integrating both sides. On the left side, before integrating, you have to do one more thing. You have to cross multiply the dt to the right side. That is the correct step. Anyhow, after integrating both sides, you will get d of integral of differential, that will cancel. That will get e raised to 200t into v, that is equal to, on the right side you have to take differential, minus e raised to 200t into 10 raised to 4 divided by 200, because here there is a 200 is there. So divided by 200 plus antiderivative term plus k. Okay. So for making it more simple, divide LHS and RHS by e raised to 200t, integrating factor. Then you will get v is equal to minus 50 plus k e raised to minus 200t. Okay, now to find k, all the problems, in all the switching problems where we have to find the solution of a differential equation, you have to take initial condition for finding the value of k. So for finding the value of k, we have to use V0. V0 was nothing but V0 minus that we found in the first step, that was 100 volt. So V0 is equal to 100, that is equal to 50 plus k into e raised to 0, because V of 0 means wherever t is appearing, you have to put that 0. So V of 0, that is equal to 100, that is equal to minus 50 plus k into e raised to 0. So what is the value of k? K is equal to 150. Substitute that back to the equation number 1. Substitute this k is equal to 150 back to equation number 1. So V is equal to minus 50 plus 150 e raised to minus 200t. Okay. This is the first problem. I hope it is clear. Now we are moving to the second problem. This is somewhat interesting problem, because in this problem you will get a chance to recap our base in network theorems like Thevenin's theorem. There are other base also. You don't need to go for such theorems while doing this problem, but as a better method, I opted to use Thevenin's theorem in solving this problem in some area. Okay. Please look the question. So a 10 volt source is connected to a RC network where three resistors are there and one capacitor is there, and the switch is there. The switch is initially open, and at t is equal to 0, switch is moved to the other position, that is switch is closed. At t is equal to 0, switch is closed. In the network, switch is closed at t is equal to 0. The capacitor is initially uncharged. This is the statement of question. Actually, that was not there. In the network, S is closed at t is equal to 0. The capacitor is initially uncharged. Initially, capacitor will be uncharged because we can see initially the switch is open now. Then there is no way to charge the capacitor. So initially, capacitor is uncharged. Find Vc of t and Ic of t. It's asked to find both the voltage across the capacitor and current of the capacitor. At t is equal to 0 minus, capacitor is uncharged. Uncharged means Vc of 0 minus is equal to 0. Uncharged means there is no charge is there, voltage is 0. And as the switch was open, there is no way for the current to pass. Then Ic 0 minus is also 0, because if the capacitor is having some charge, we can take Ic is equal to 0, even though that switch is open, because capacitor is having a closed path there. But anyhow, capacitor is not having any charge, then voltage is 0 and also current is also 0 for the negative instant, or t is equal to 0 minus instant. Okay, please leave that slide, it is not near there. Okay, now we are going to find the expression for Vc. Now the switch is closed. Switch is closed, and this is a time instant where time is greater than 0. Here we can see it is not that simple, because we can write a KVL like that here, because in our format for KVL, what we were doing, if it is a resistor, we are multiplying the resistance value into current as C dV by dt. But here for this 9K resistor, how we will apply KVL? What will be the current? If the current passing through the 9 kilo ohm resistor is same as the current through the capacitor, then we can easily adopt the last method like C dV by dt. But here the current is splitting into two parts. So in KVL, as the KVL can be applied, but the current into resistor equations are having some complexity. For avoiding that, we have to eliminate these parallel series combination branches and we have to make it a simple circuit. For that, I am using Thevenin's theorem. I hope everybody remembers Thevenin's theorem. For Thevenin's theorem, we have to identify some load. So anyhow, the question is asked for us to find the voltage across this capacitor, Vc of t and Ic of t. So we have to identify this capacitor is a load. So what Thevenin theorem will tell you? First remove the load. So I removed the load. And what is Thevenin voltage? The voltage that appears across this removed terminal or the open load terminal is known as VThevenin. What was VThevenin? VThevenin is nothing but the voltage that appears across open circuited load terminal. So now it is easy. Find VThevenin because this VThevenin voltage will be same as voltage across this 1 kilo ohm resistor because current will not pass through the 4 kilo ohm resistor because it is open circuited. Please see, current will not pass through the 4 kilo ohm resistor because this output side is open circuited. So this voltage will appear same at these terminals also because no loss is there in between these two terminals because current is absent in the 4K ohm resistor. So for simply find the voltage across 1 kilo ohm resistor, it is very easy. We have to apply voltage division rule. Voltage division rule in between the 9 kilo ohm resistor and 1 kilo ohm resistor. So that is VThevenin is equal to 10 into resistance of the main branch divided by total resistance. 10 into 1 by 9 plus 1, that is equal to 1 volt. I am not going into more details because Thevenin theorem is that much clear for you. So VThevenin is equal to 1 volt. Now find RThevenin. RThevenin means nothing but we have to short voltage source with we have to replace voltage source with a short circuit and current source with a open circuit. And then look back to the circuit from the open circuited terminal. This is the open circuited terminal where the load is removed. You have to look back from this terminal and there was a voltage source here. You have to replace that voltage source with its internal resistance. What is the internal resistance of a voltage source? 0. That's why we are replacing voltage source with a short circuit. Okay, replacing with 0 resistance means short circuit. Now find RThevenin. We have to look back means a current is applied in this terminal. So that current will pass like this and at this point it will split. So 9K and 1K are in parallel. So 9K parallel to 1K and that combination will be in series with 4K. So 9K plus 1K means 9 plus 1 by 9. So 10 by 9 plus 4 kilo ohm, that is equal to 4.9 kilo ohm, that is RThevenin. Now you got RThevenin and VThevenin. So make the equivalent circuit, equivalent Thevenin circuit. Series connection of VThevenin with RThevenin. And please connect the removed branch back to the circuit. The 3 mu of capacitor was removed initially. Connect that back to the circuit. Now find VCT. Now it is very easy for applying KVL. In KVL application is not difficult, but for applying KVL in our sense logic, where in a resistor, in this resistor, we have to apply I into R, 4.9 kilo ohm into I, where that I should be in the form of C dV by dt. That was not possible in the last case. That's why we converted that circuit to a Thevenin equivalent circuit. Now apply KVL in clockwise direction. -1, current is coming from this terminal, so plus is here, plus 4.9 kilo ohm into I plus Vc of t, that is equal to 0. Now for the I, be very careful, you have to substitute current equation for capacitor. So 4.9 into C dVc by dt, that is the current equation of capacitor, plus Vc is equal to 1. Instead of Vc of t, I can simply take Vc also, Vc, that is equal to 1. -1 is moved towards the right side. Now substitute the values. 4.9 into 10 raised to 3 into 3 into 10 raised to -6, that is the capacitor value, into dVc by dt plus Vc is equal to 1. That is 14.7 into 10 raised to -3 dVc by dt plus Vc is equal to 1. Anyhow, what was our procedure for solving this differential equation? For solving that differential equation, so not for solving, for standardizing that differential equation, we have to make the coefficient of the differential term 1. So multiply all the terms by 14.7 into 10 raised to -3. So in next step, you will get dVc by dt plus 0.068 into 10 raised to 3 Vc equal to minus 0.068 into 10 raised to 3, that is nothing but 68. In the next step, you can replace it as 68. Now what is the integrating factor? Integrating factor depends on the coefficient of basic variable, that is nothing but 0.068 into 10 raised to 3 or 68. So integrating factor is equal to e raised to 0.068 into 10 raised to 3 t, or simply e raised to 68 t, that will be better. Okay, here we take it as e raised to 68t. So multiply both sides, LHS and RHS, with e raised to 68t. So e raised to 68t dV by dt plus e raised to 68t, 68 Vc, that is equal to 68 e raised to 68t. So we multiplied all the terms with integrating factor. Now the LHS will give, this is same for all the RC and LC circuit. Now the LHS will give d by dt of uv, that is nothing but d by dt of e raised to 60t tv, e raised to 68t into Vc. If you are having any doubt, please solve this. You will get these things. Okay. That is equal to 68 into e raised to 68t. Now, before doing integration, please cross multiply this dt to this side and then integrate. Integrating both sides, d of e raised to 68t Vc will give, after integration, d and d integration will get cancelled. So e raised to 68t into Vc is equal to 68 into e raised to 68t divided by integration effect, 68 plus anti-differential, plus k will be there, because we are not giving any limits. We are integrating without limit. So an arbitrary constant will come, plus k. Now for simplifying, divide all the term by integrating factor. Then you will get Vc is equal to 1 plus k e raised to minus 68t. Vc is equal to 1 plus k e raised to minus 68t. To find k, we have to use initial condition Vc of 0. What was Vc of 0? Initial voltage was 0 because switch was open. No. Vc of 0 is 0. So put that Vc of t is equal to 1 plus k e raised to minus 60t. So Vc of 0 is equal to 0, that is equal to 1 plus k into e raised to 0. That is here 1 plus k into e raised to 0. So what is the value of k? K is equal to minus 1. Put that k is equal to minus 1 in this equation. So Vc of t is equal to 1 plus minus 1 e raised to minus 68t. So Vc of t is equal to 1 minus 1 e raised to minus 68t. Now you got the voltage expression. Now one more question was there. What was the expression for current? So voltage is, you got voltage, then for finding current, the standard equation is equal to is there. IC is equal to capacitor current equation, that is equal to C dVc by dt. So Vc, we already obtained Vc, substitute in the equation C d by dt of Vc of t. Vc of t is nothing but 1 minus 1 into e raised to minus 68t, and C is 3 into 10 raised to minus 6. Please do the differential. D by dt of 1 is 0. D by dt of minus 1 e raised to minus 68t is equal to minus 1 e raised to minus 68t into minus 68t. So this minus and this minus will get cancels. So the total term will be 204 10 raised to minus 6 into e raised to minus 68t. That is the expression for current. So I hope this is very clear. So one thing you need to be more careful about is the first question, where two voltage sources are there and the polarity of one voltage source is opposite to polarity of other voltage source. In such case, while writing KVL, you should be more careful. So I hope this is enough in this session. You can do more problems from textbooks or by referring some other videos. Doing some more problems is really important in this area because such problems are appearing many times in university exams. It's a pattern question, RL circuit and RC circuit. RLC will not be that much appearing. RL and RC circuit questions will be appearing every year. So you have to do derivation and then you have to do practice problems. That is the main thing. And some textbooks may have some other methods also. Don't worry about that. Be confident on our method. First of all, learn our derivation very well, steps in that derivation. Then for any problem, you can take that steps. But you should be careful about finding initial voltage, applying KVL, such things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see in next video with more details of RLC circuit. So if you're having any doubts, you can ask in the channel itself. Thank you.